Hello, everyone. My name is Claire Callan, and welcome to the Somo at Home session for August 11th. For our session today, we're going to be going over how to create a simple monthly budget. Before we get started, I wanted to take a moment to thank our sponsors for today's program. Those sponsors are P&G Manufacturing, Simon's PLM, P&G Paper Products, Kirksville Motor Company, Hy-Vee of St. Joseph, Sertoma Club of St. Joseph, General Mills, J.W. Terrell, and Concrete Strategies. So as I said on today's session, I am going to be going over a simple monthly budget. I'm going to share my screen with you now to show you a few things as I walk through how to create a budget. So the first piece I wanted to go over was Budgeting 101, just a really quick outline of what you need to do to start your budget, because sometimes it can feel overwhelming. And if you break it down into little steps, it's helpful. The first thing you need to do is to find your income, and you want to find your income after taxes. So you can look on your W-2 forms or ask your employer what your income is per month after taxes. Once you find that out, it's going to be much easier to track what you can spend on certain things and what you need to save. The second thing you need to do is to track your spending each month. This is going to be a habit that you're going to have to get yourself into. And of course, nobody's going to be perfect the first month they try to set a budget and track their spending. But save your receipts, or you can look back on, if you have a debit card, you can look back at your statement and see where you were spending your money in previous months. That will help you create a budget for the upcoming months. The third step in creating a budget would be to set a savings goal. Savings are very important just in case something would happen and you needed extra money one month. If something happened to your car, you would have money set aside where you could pay for it. The fourth tip would be you need to make a plan to achieve your goal. Your goal would be to maybe only spend so much each month so you're able to save more. You're gonna have to make a plan and achieve it. And just like any other goal that you set, you're going to have to adjust your habits. We all have habits that maybe are good or bad for spending money. And when you set a monthly budget, it just highlights maybe the areas that you need to work on and maybe the areas that you're already doing well with. The last tip for budgeting would be to keep at it and don't give up. Every month is different, and sometimes we might get discouraged if one month doesn't go exactly as planned. Just keep at it, keep tracking your money from month to month, and after several months, it becomes more of a habit and then a lifestyle, and it gets easier and easier. So this is a basic method for budgeting. It's called the 50-30-20 method. This is a method that I used when I first started to look into budgeting because it was simple and it was very straightforward, and I wasn't overwhelmed with trying to budget too many things that made me actually want to start budgeting because, like I said, I wasn't overwhelmed. So for this method, you want to take 50% of your income, and that is going to be what you spend on necessities. So necessities are things like housing, water, insurance, like those bills that you have to pay every month that allow you to live. 30% of your income you can spend on wants. And this is the category that gets a little tricky because certain people think wants are different than other people. So we can go through what some of those things might be later. And then 20% of your income should go towards your savings. So this is what you need to be saving maybe each month for retirement if you're focused on that, or maybe for an emergency fund in case something would happen. So like I said, this is just a very easy, simple method that sometimes is a good starting place to make sure you're putting your money in the right place each month where it needs to go. And if you track out all of your spending for like last month, and you're noticing that you're spending 50% of your budget on wants instead of 30%, it's a good tool to use so you can see where you might need to cut back. And let's see, the next place I wanted to go to is, this is the NerdWallet website. So if you go to nerdwallet.com, they've got a lot of different financial articles for you to read and tools and calculators. So it's a very good website. You can see all of their options up here that they have. I'm at their Budgeting 101, how to create a budget page. I wanted to show you this page simply because they go through their 5 steps of how to create a budget, which you can read. They also have this 50, 30, 20 budget calculator, which is nice. So if math is not your thing, you can come to this website, and let's say after taxes each month, you bring in $2,000 and you hit enter. It's going to list out how much you can spend on necessities. So that's your 50% of your budget. How much you can spend on wants, that's 30% of your budget, and what you need to put away towards savings, that's the 20% remaining of your budget. So you can see if you change this to 3,000 and hit enter, it's going to automatically update these numbers for you. So it's just a good calculator tool to use to get your 50, 30, and 20%. So this breaks down what exactly, 50% of your income goes for necessities. So what is a need? Groceries, like your housing, if you're paying a mortgage or if you have a rent payment, your utilities like water, electricity. I would even consider internet a utility, your transportation. So if you have a car, if you're spending gas each month that you have to get to work, that is a necessity. Or if you take the bus, maybe what you pay for your bus pass each month. Insurance for your car or home or apartment is also a necessity. And let's see, they also have the 30% for your wants. Wants are going to be things like gym memberships, eating out, sometimes how much you spend on clothes. Now, clothing is a necessity and you have to have clothing to live, but depending on how much you like to spend on clothes, if shoes are important for you and you like fancy shoes, you might put that in your wants category because the fancy shoes are not a necessity. And then they kind of list out committing 20% of your income to savings, and they say debt payment. If you have any debts like credit card debt or student loans, you can put that in that 20% category as well. So just keep this website in mind. Like I said, it's nerdwallet.com, and this is their Budgeting 101 page. So for the remaining of this session, I want to bring you to this fabulous website. It's everydollar.com. And if you Google everydollar.com, you can sign up for a free account. That's why I really like it. And this is what I use every month to track my budget. EveryDollar also has a free app. So if you have an iPhone or like a Samsung or any of the other phones, you can download the free EveryDollar app and you can track it on your phone on the go, which is really nice. They do have some paid services if you want to upgrade your service. They have some cool features where you pay a monthly fee, but I think their free platform does a whole lot and is really easy to use and useful. So here on this page, we're starting with our August 2020 budget up here. If you click this arrow down here, you can go towards all of your past budgets, and then you can also set up future budgets here. But today we're going to be working in our August of 2020 budget. So this is a fake account that I created for Shiver Bear. He's our polar plunge mascot. And this is a kind of a made up budget that Shiver Bear might be using for his monthly life here. And so on this page, what we're going to do, the first section you're going to see is your income. So paycheck number 1, I wrote down that Shiver Bear brings in $2,000 every month after taxes. If Shiver Bear maybe worked a second job, or if Shiver Bear had a partner that also was contributing to the household, you could enter their paycheck in here as well, and then it would add it up for you in this bottom column. So that's really nice. But for this episode, we're just saying that Shiver Bear brings in $2,000 every month. And so when you walk through this page, scroll down here, there's all of these sections: savings and housing, transportation, food, personal, lifestyle, health, insurance, and debt. And you can make up your own groups if this is kind of their basic strategy for how this Every Dollar site set it up. But if you want to create your own group or delete a group, you can do that. And you can add a new group down here. Okay, so let's start up top here with the giving page or the giving section. You can, if you have a certain charity that you like to donate to every month, you can add that in here. If you have your church or any organization that you really like, let's say we wanted to donate to Special Olympics Missouri, and say that every month, here, we need to type in Special Olympics Missouri here, and every month, let's say we wanted to donate $20. So you can add your $20 in here, and it automatically will add this into your budget. You can see up here that this $196 is what we have left to budget this month. We want to disperse all of this money throughout these categories, and we'll continue to do that today. So what I like about this website is it does all the adding and subtracting for you. So when we click in here, originally this was 0. You can see that this amount up here jumped back up to 216. But as soon as I type in 20 here and hit enter or tab, it'll automatically calculate that I have 196 left. So that's a great reason why I love this website. The next section is going to be your savings. And this is an emergency fund that I have saved right here. And Shiver Bear right now is planning to save $100 every month towards his emergency fund. And this section right here is showing him right next to it that he already has $1,200 saved. So that's what Shiver Bear has been saving over the course of the year towards his emergency fund. These emergency funds are really good to have, like I said, in case you lose your job, get laid off, or if you have car trouble and you need to fix your car. Any sort of emergency that comes up, you can sit on this emergency fund, and it's a backup plan. That just makes you a little bit more financially secure. And a lot of people say in your emergency fund that you need to have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved up. So you can calculate what you spend in 1 month and times that by 3 or 4, 5, or 6, and you can get what you would like to have set aside in your emergency fund. And any of these lines can be made into a fund here. The funds on this website allow you to carry over money from month to month. So if you click on this line, it brings up this section over here to the right. And if you go down to fund details, you can type in a starting balance of, let's say you've already been saving up some money, and when you start creating your budget on this website, you can type it in here with how much you already have saved. And you can type in what you want to spend each month. And you can also set a savings goal. Let's say our emergency fund savings goal was $4,000. That way you can tell the system what goal you're trying to work towards, and it'll help you keep track of that. And then if you hit save, it'll save your progress in there. The next section is housing. This is an important section. Most of us pay rent or electricity, different things like that that we need to live in. And you can go in and edit any of these lines. If you don't pay natural gas at your apartment or at your house, you can go in and you can click on the line and then go over here and delete it. Same thing, if you don't pay for your trash service, you can delete it, or you can add in a new service right here. If you just click add item, it'll add in a new item for you if you need to label it something else. So I'm saying that Shiver Bear spends $500 every month on rent. He pays $50 every month for natural gas and electricity. His internet cost him $40. and he likes to spend $12.99 on Netflix. So he doesn't have cable, but he does like to watch Netflix, and he has his Netflix rate is at $12.99 a month. So let's say we're in August and right now your rent is due and you paid your landlord. What I really want you to show you is how you can add in here when you do pay your bills. So it's helpful to keep track of what you have and have not paid for the month as well. So if you go up here to the top right to transactions and click the plus sign, this box that pops up here will help you keep track of all your new transactions, any past ones, or any transactions that you might have deleted. And if we want to add in a payment for rent, we click over here at this add new button. You type in $500 and whatever date you paid it on, whether you paid it today, you could use it for this date, or let's say if you click on the calendar button, let's say we paid it yesterday on August 10th, you can go ahead and change that date. And it'll ask you, where you spent this money. You can type in whatever the name of your landlord is, or to your bank if you have a loan for your mortgage. And then you're going to go here and click this box in the down arrow, and you're going to scroll down. You're going to choose that you're paying this towards your mortgage and your rent. You can also in this box add a split. If you were, let's say if you made a payment that was all inclusive, that was going to multiple things, you could say, let's say you were trying to pay your electricity and your rent together. You could designate if you wanted $400 to go to rent and $100 to go to electricity. So you could split up your payments in here too, if you like. I tend to like to keep mine separate, but everyone thinks differently. So I wanted to show you that. Okay, so we're saying this $500 payment is going towards our mortgage and our rent, and you track your expense. Okay, let's get rid of the advertisement. So if we go back up here to our mortgage and our rent, you can see now that in the remaining column is 0. So that means we spent the $500 that we planned for our rent. And that'll do that for every single item in all of these sections. And you can also see if you click spent, it'll show you the exact opposite. So it'll show that you had $500 planned for rent. And if you paid it, it'll automatically show that you've paid all of it. So depending on what you're trying to look at, you can toggle between remaining and spent. And so here you can see for our natural gas payment of $50 this month, it's still $50 remaining. So that means we have not paid our natural gas this month. And I believe what's also nice is, let's say our natural gas was due on the 15th of the month. If you click on that line, you go over here to this box, you can set a due date for when the payment is due. And you can choose to repeat it every month and set a due date. So that way it reminds you when it's due. So you can come to your budget and look up when all of your payments are due. So you're not searching through emails or having to go to websites to look up what date different things are due. It's all kept here on the same page. So that is a nice feature as well. Okay, let's go down here to the transportation section. In this transportation section, a lot of times I keep gas and maintenance for my car here. So let's just say Sugar Bear spends $100 each month on gas. So every time he goes to the gas station, he can pull up the app on his phone, or when he gets home, he can look at his receipt and add a transaction, add a new one. And let's say today he spent $30 on gas for today's date. And let's say he did it at a Phillips 66 station. And you choose the gas section and you track your expense. And now we can go back and see that we planned 100 and we just spent $30. So now we have $70 remaining this month to spend on gas. And here for this section, for the maintenance section, I like to make this a fund, because I like to just save money every month towards like oil changes or spark plugs or headlights or anything that might need to be changed or new for my car. That way, when it happens, I'm not having to scrounge up the money for it. I've already been saving a little bit each month. So if we wanted to make this maintenance section a fund, click on the line, then go over here to the Make a Fund tab and make this a fund. And let's say our starting balance, let's say we haven't saved anything for our maintenance yet, so we can start at 0. we're planning this month at 50. And let's say our savings goal, we'd like to save $1,000 to have for basically a car emergency fund, or and you can use it for oil changes or anything. So we're going to click save. And now when you look at this line here, you can see that there's a little piggy bank. If a little piggy bank is next to the name, that means that it's a fund. Just like up here at the emergency fund, it has the little piggy bank. So the lines that don't have the piggy bank next to it are not funds. And okay, our next section is food. This is really important because, you know, food is a necessity. So groceries are definitely a necessity that would be a part of your 50% that you spend every month. But I would consider restaurants to be a need. The restaurants need to go in your 30%. Restaurants are something fun. We don't necessarily need to eat at a restaurant, but getting groceries at our house so we can feed ourselves, that is definitely a need. And I have it planned out that Shiver Bear will spend $200 each month on groceries, and he does kind of like to eat out. So he is going to spend $100 each month on restaurants and eating out. And let's say you have extra expenses one month that are causing you to spend more money elsewhere. You know, he can decide that this month maybe he only needs to spend $50 on restaurants to help put that $50 somewhere else. Or let's say one month he has a lot of friends that he's going out with and he knows that he's going to be eating out with more, he can bump that up to $150. It really just depends on from month to month. And the first time you make a budget, I do want to say, don't get discouraged if you don't know how much to put for these. I know when I first started, I had no clue what I spent each month on groceries. I had never really tracked it. And so I just went back a couple months behind and got an estimate of what I thought I spent each month on groceries, and decided if that was a reasonable amount, and decided to, you know, give it a try and enter it. And those first couple months of your budget are going to be trial and error. And that's okay. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged. And these amounts are probably going to change from month to month, just depending on what's going on in your life at that time. This next section is the personal section. In here, you know, you can say that maybe this month I'm going to have to buy a nice shirt for work. So I'm maybe going to spend $25 or let's say maybe $50 on clothes this month. Here, you can put your phone payment. Sometimes some people like to put phone up here in housing because they feel like it's more of a necessity. Most people do need phones. But that's just kind of up to you. So there are some gray areas of where you like to put that. So we're saying that Shiver Bear likes to spend $30 each month on, or he needs to spend $30 each month on his phone plan. You can add fun money for like fun things like going to Six Flags or let's say you go to a festival and you want to buy a few things, you can put your fun money there. If you're getting a haircut this month, let's say it costs $25 to get your haircut, you know that you're getting a haircut every month or maybe every 2 months, you can add that into your budget. I like to have a subscription line. You know, I subscribe to like different magazines or YouTube or Pandora, maybe Spotify. You can rename that here, or you can and have them each individual, or you can group them all under the subscriptions and decide what you're going to pay each month for those. I think those are kind of fun things that are not a necessity, but that a lot of people have. Other things you can add to your budget are pet care, entertainment, like going to the movies. Miscellaneous is also another category. It's kind of similar to fun money, just maybe extra fun things that pop up. I like to add in your gym membership every month. That's something good that you know you really want to pay for and that you have to pay every single month. And this is under the health category. So if you like to buy supplements or vitamins, or if you have prescriptions, you can add them in this medicine and vitamins column, what you spend every month on that. You know, doctor visits. If Shiver Bear has a $50 copay every time he goes to visit the doctor and he goes to his doctor this month, you know, you can add that you're going to have a $50 visit here. The insurance category, this last one is also important with our health insurance. that we pay or auto insurance for your car. And if you're a homeowner or you rent, since Shiver Bear is a renter, his renter insurance is $15 a month. So we like to have all those things designated out. So I feel like I filled in a lot of the necessities and some of the more obvious fun things. But as you can see, we still have $146 left to budget for Shiver Bear this month. So we need to decide if he wants to add more to savings or if he wants to add more to his maintenance for his car. Let's say he knows he's going to have an oil change soon and he wants to save more money for his car. We're going to say that he wants to save $100 this month towards his car maintenance. So that brought it down to $96. Let's see, what else could he do? Let's say he's going to go, no, he might go out to the movies one night. So that could be $20. Let's see. So right now he has $76.01 left. And if you can't really think of anything else that you might do this month, what you can do, what I would suggest you do is you add that to your emergency fund. So let's make our emergency fund $1,700 or $100, $76.01. Here we go. And then once you have that there, now it tells you that you have everything budgeted and that your budget is complete. And so, like I said, this is just a very basic, simple tool that you can use to budget. You can get the app on your phone, play with it, plan it out. If you get stuck, just give it a try each month. And hopefully after you do it for a couple months, it becomes a habit. And then after so many months, a lifestyle, and it can really help you save and keep track of what you are spending and maybe some areas that you could cut back on and really help you reach those savings goals. If you guys have any questions, I'd love to hear from you guys and I could answer certain things for you. Hopefully this was helpful and can get you started on making a simple budget. And have a good day, everyone.